Okay, and as you can see, guys, we have a nice little icon there instead of ones and zeros. It's pretty neat, right? G'day everybody, this is Mupersega on behalf of Mupercorp. Welcome back to part 4 of the job tracking build. Now, it's been a little while since I recorded the last section. I had a bit of spare time here, so I thought I'd start the sexification process that we were speaking about at the end of part 3. If you haven't seen parts 1, 2, and 3, I would recommend going and checking that out. And if you're following along, build with us and we'll come out the other end with something resembling a solution. So enough of that, let's get started on the sexification process. Now we are going to go to the ship manufacture sheet here, SID log. Now if you were following along with the Warhouse build, you would have seen the kind of coloration or the color schemes that we used for that one. Basically you want, now of course this is what I want, this is my opinion, do whatever you want. Ultimately, for me, I do like having a grayish kind of scheme and then accenting with whatever colors you want from there. Importantly, though, I would say don't have a really heavy background color because it can just be a bit overwhelming. So if I was to select everything by clicking up here in the left-hand corner between on that little arrow there, and then I go to the format settings here, I'm going to go to the paint bucket here, and I'm going to fill it with, let's say, if I was to do it in a dark kind of system, then you're looking at something like that. Now that might be fine, but if you've got a dark background, you're going to need some light text to contrast that. So straight away we're in business. For this build, we are going to use a similar color scheme as the Warhouse. So we're going to go for these dark gray title areas and a light gray in the background with green highlights, with the green as being the kind of theme color, I guess. So now I'm going to go straight back to the Warhouse here. I'm actually going to click in the cell and see which background they are using here. Now I could either say format paint, so I can do that. I'll format paint that across into a cell, so I now have that. All the formats that go into that cell have been dragged across. Sometimes that can be problematic in that if you copy a format, it will also bring the conditional formatting with you, which is sometimes that we don't want, because the conditional formatting is going to be something customized normally to the worksheet itself. So anyway, I'm going to go back there. I'm going to see what color did we use for the background. This one there. Now I'm going to select everything, building from the background to the front. That color, what was it? Was it that one there? Yes. In terms of the top section, what have we got? Looking at this, I don't like that this is not capitalized, but I'll fix that off camera. So I'm going to the top there. I'm going to format paint that one across. So I've got that there now. I'm going to check out, I'm going to grab that format paint to the entire row. Now what that has done is as you can see, it's brought the border with it, that little black line there, it's brought that with it, and I don't want that. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to go up to the top, I'm going to say more borders, clear all borders, or remove all the borders. I'm actually not going to do that. I'm going to do it this way. I'm going to say boom. No borders, just like that. Now, for you guys at home, there is a feature here. If you're looking at a sheet and it's got these grid lines, sometimes it's not a matter of dealing with this in terms of getting rid of the borders. A lot of this is just grid lines. So you're going to go to view and then turn off grid lines, and straight away you've got something without all those little lines, because they aren't actually borders, they are just grid lines. Okay, back to the ship manufacturer. I'm going to, this is a little trick here. I'm gonna use a function to do this all at once. I'm gonna create a quick new sheet. I'm gonna go equals proper, and then I'm gonna go to ship manufacturer job code. I'm gonna put that in there So proper is a function in which it turns any text in that cell to capitalized at the front of every word. Okay, so, and because I did ship manufacture B1, now when I drag this across, it's going to be ship manufacture C1, etc., etc. Okay, I'm going to drag this all the way across, so that now capitalizes everything for me. I'm sorry guys, I did forget to zoom in so that you can see that. So as you can see, this is now capitalized everywhere. I'm going to make sure that this is going all the way across. SRD minus total goes finish start. There might be a few more here. I think the last one is recorded. There we go. So I'm now going to copy this back. Now remember how we were copying as values before, copying as formulas and then pasting as values? We're going to do that again because this is now a formula and I don't want to do that as a formula. I want this to be solid values, so I'm going to paste it back as values. And now, as you can see, we have capitalized systems up there. Now, in terms of the bottom kind of outline border here, I mean, it's okay. This color up the top, if I had more time and I cared more about it in this instance, I would probably mess around with some other color schemes here. But for now, that will do. So with the border, I'm going to, rather than say a normal border like this, these top ones here, I'm going to go down to the bottom there to more borders, and I'm going to select something like this. I'm going to do it similar to what I do on my sheet. So I'm going to go this thick one here, and then I'm going to go a color that maybe complements, and we'll see what that looks like. You cannot see it because it's on a dark background. So let's go up there. How does that look? Oh god, it's pretty goddamn ugly. It's pretty ugly. Let's go a real green. Let's do it that way. And whatever color that was, I'm going to do the border in the same color. Oh, that's ugly as sin yet again. Bear with me. I'm going to do this as we go. Okay. Anyway, so we're going to leave it like this for now, guys. I'm going to format paint, so I'm going to grab that and I'm going to paste it across the whole thing. Now, the reason that I did a big size border there and not just the thin one is because when it comes to viewing this, see how when I scroll down, I lose that top. I lose the top titles. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to go to view, I'm going to go freeze panes, and I'm going to freeze the top row. So now when I scroll down, you can see that row 1 stays visible. So if I had more than 40 entries or whatever, or 21 entries, and I scrolled down, I would have lost that row 1, but now I get to keep that. So now in terms of the text color for the entire thing, let's go dark green and come back to that at the top. What color were we using? That one there. So you can see we're getting somewhere already. Now, I might actually remove all borders to get rid of all the black stuff there. So we can build from scratch. No borders anywhere. As you can see, I am making this up on the fly. So some of these processes would have been obviously better if I'd planned them out. Now what I'm going to do on this top row, in this cell here, I am going to give it just another little border to the side of these because I think it's a bit more sexy, and that's what we're about. We're about the sexification. So I'm going to come back to this, the same color as the, and let's see what that looks like if I do it like that. No, it's still a bit too visible. I don't want it to be quite that visible, so we're going to go a tiny bit darker at that level. And now let's see what that looks like. And as you can see, that's what it looks like. We're going to format paint that and paint that across. All right, now when it comes to conditional formatting here, actually before we get into the conditional formatting, you know, I said that that's what I wanted, but I feel like it's still, well, that's the same color as the background. What happens if I go something over there? Now that I can kind of dig. I think I can deal with that. Now, so let's differentiate the sections here with, actually no, forget that. Remember, I'm building it on the fly. Thanks for being with me. Thanks for sticking with me. I'm now going to move across to this tracking section. Now, the tracker will be hidden. So when it comes to hiding these things, I'm not sure if I actually showed you how to do it in part 3. These 4 columns here are going to be hidden, as is column A from a previous one. So I selected them by actually clicking on the letter, dragging across to R, right-clicking on that and saying hide. So now I don't see that. Now, with these sections here, I'm not selecting the entire column, but what I am doing is selecting row 1, S to Z. I've selected that. I'm going to the format up the top, the text direction, rotate text up, and I'm also going to now select all those columns and align it in the middle. In the bottom, SID. Now this is the reporting section. So I'm going to give myself a little bit of a visual cue here. Again, I'm going to have to go back and probably mess around with the formatting of this, but we are building it, and once it's built, it's built. So there we got a little thing, and now I'm going to select one of these ones. I'm going to pick that up and paint it over there again, because in these columns where we only have a 1, we are going to do some conditional formatting on that so that we can present that differently. Align that to the center, not to the center that way, but to the center that way. There we go. Now I'm going to select cell S2, conditional formatting, icon sets, whatever you like, whichever one you want, preferably one of the 3 sets, right? One that has a green, a yellow, and a red. I use this one here in the indicators that has a green circle with a tick, a yellow circle with an exclamation mark, and a red circle with a cross in it. I'm going to select that one now. Now I'm going to go down to Manage Rules. I've applied that. Now when it comes to setting the rule on this, I'm going to edit the rule. I'm going to go like this. I'm going to show icon only, so the number does not appear. Let's change that. Now I'm going to do this step by step, but all these steps can happen at once. I'm going to go show icon only so that you can see what that looks like. So now you can see that the hashtag or whatever it's called is gone. I'm going to go back in there, edit that rule again. I'm now going to select number. Now greater than or equal to 1, greater than 0. So now what's going to happen when the value is greater than or equal to 1, it is going to select a 1. When it is less than 1 and when it is less than and equal to 0, it's going to do the red. All right. What's more is actually that when it's blank, it's going to show nothing because it sees neither a 1, a 0, or any other number. Okay, I'm going to go okay. Now I'm going to apply that. Now I'm going to apply this to everything that has a yes or a no value, a true or a false, like a 1 or a 0. Okay, I'm going to now select that information there, and I'm going to apply it by dragging it over there, the S to the Z, and now I'm going to put a little comma there because that conditional formatting also applies to column AG, wherein we have the recorded column. Okay, so now apply. Okay, and as you can see, guys, we have a nice little icon there instead of ones and zeros. It's pretty neat, right? So, as an example, if it wasn't finished, we don't see anything. Yeah, 1, 1, 1. Now, if I did put a 0, oh, sorry, 1, 2, 3. Oh my gosh, I cleaned my keyboard the other day and my 9 and my 0 are mixed up. Yeah, okay, so if it was a 0, then it would come out like that. That's confusing. I gotta pull off my keyboard key. Here, just wait. I'm doing it. Put the 9 there and put my 0. Yeah, fixed. Okay, all right guys, I'm going to leave it there for the first part of this sexification process. As you can see, there is some residual conditional formatting that we set up in part 3, which is showing up that start button, that start cell, that hey, this job is ready to go. This is the kind of thing we are going to look at in the next section of the sexification process, Job Tracker Part 5. I will see you then. Thank you for watching. Ciao.
Mupecorp out.